This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Today's date is February 11th, 2026. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Kansas won on Monday as it defeated number one Arizona. And now Kansas has won the most games they've won consecutively since they won the national championship in 2021-2022 when they won more than 8 in a row, which is what they won right now. Darren Peterson did not play. Kansas is hoping for a 9th win consecutively. Iowa State is ranked 5th, and Kansas started the week at number 9, obviously going up after beating number 1 Arizona. Again, it'll be Iowa State number 5 hosting number 9 Kansas to start the week. One of the Kansas will move up, as we said. Kansas will play Iowa State 12 o'clock. ABC, here is a link from yesterday. Podcast. Mizzou will play against Texas A&M, a tough road test for Missouri as they sit on the out range right now as the 70th team projected. Mizzou has an opportunity to win 4 of the next 8, may get them in with a tournament win would be key. They play Texas A&M tonight, who sits as an 8th seed, according to ESPN Bracketology, which is a projection for the tournament about 5 weeks away from the NCAA tournament. And this will be the first one of 8. The first 4 tips off around March 17th or March 18th, and they will continue the NCAA tournament rounds that week. Mizzou will play Texas at home this Saturday. And at Vanderbilt, number 5 seed, they will host Tennessee, who sits out of the tournament right now, at Mississippi State, who gave them a good one in Columbia, and Oklahoma at Oklahoma, who needed 2 buzzer beaters in Missouri to beat Oklahoma, one before overtime and then one in overtime to beat Oklahoma. They'll face Arkansas, who is also in the tournament. They'll face Texas A&M tonight, and of those 5 games, they'll need to win 2 or 3. They'll play Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, hosting Arkansas and Texas on Saturday. And in those games, they need to at least win 4, go 5-3, and then I feel like they're comfortably in, especially if they win a tournament game. I would like to see Missouri with 10 wins in conference. 11-game win gets them in for sure without a tournament win, I think. And those 4 out of those 8 probably need to be at home. 5 of those would be great, and go 5-3. Get 2 wins and 2 wins on the road, and get the rest at home. And Gary Parrish says that might be a difference of them making a tournament. And Gary Parrish also says this may be the difference of them making a tournament. A couple of years ago, it was 64. Now we talk about 68 teams, and that may be the difference of Missouri making the tournament. A great help tonight would be beating Texas A&M. Texas A&M plays Mizzou tonight. Players to watch out for Mizzou: Jaden Stone, Mark Mitchell. Players to watch out for the 2 for Missouri. And for Texas A&M, a player to watch out for is Jaden Stone and Mark Mitchell for Missouri. And Richard Agee, who averages 14. Mark Mitchell averages 17. Those are the players to watch out for. This game tips from Texas A&M at 8 o'clock. Missouri is 25% chance to win the game, and Texas A&M is about 75% game. Tip-off is at 8 from the SEC Network. Here's more from Gary Parrish on Mizzou. I believe Mizzou has to go 5-4 to get in the tournament. I believe that's a theory to happen for Missouri to get in. And Kansas State plays Cincinnati tonight at 8. Their troubled season keeps going. Players to watch out for: P.J. Haggerty for Kansas State and Baba Miller for Cincinnati. He averages 13. Cincinnati is 12-12 and plays on the road to 10-13. Kansas State on CBS Network at 8 o'clock. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report.
Every week since the conference schedule started, you look at it and it's like they've got a tough stretch coming up, which is just sort of, nature of the business when you're a bubble team in a league that's rating as the number one league in the country in some computers. So they've handled it well to date. They've won 2 straight now. I know not against great teams, but that's the key. When you're a bubble team, all you are trying to do is avoid bad losses and win the games you're supposed to win. And they've mostly been doing that lately. They're in a good spot right now.
Yeah. And it's still, I don't know. I don't see the signature win, I feel like they've got to get, I think they're probably going to go 2-3, to be honest with you, in this stretch. That's kind of what they do. That would keep them 500-ish in the league. But I don't know. Is a win over Arkansas, is a win over Texas A&M, does that give them the cred that they need to get over the hump? Is that a good enough win here, or do they need something better? Or is it not provided in the SEC? Is the opportunity to get that signature win no longer there because of the way that the league sits at about, 16, 17 is the highest with Florida?
Well, yeah. Well, the SEC is an interesting league in the sense that I don't have the updated numbers right in front of me, but when I looked at it, say, Sunday, it had more teams in the top 40 of the net than any other conference. I think it was 10 in the top 38 or something like that, but then no teams in the top 10 of the net. So everybody's bunched in between 13 and 38, 10 teams. So it's possible it's the best league in the country with no elite teams. Now, some people would argue Florida got off to a rough start. I think started 5-4 with the transfer guards, but have turned it around, and that's actually the best team in the SEC. Actually, the team that has a chance to win a national championship. But to your point, there doesn't appear, at least, to be an Arizona or a Michigan or a UConn or a Duke in this league. But there are a lot of good teams in this league. So maybe they don't get a signature win in this stretch in a traditional sense. But Texas A&M on the road, that's quadrant 1. Vanderbilt at home, that's a quadrant 1 win. Arkansas on the road, that would be quadrant 1. Tennessee at home, that would be quadrant 1. So maybe none of these games are big, Kansas against Arizona type matchups, but 4 of the next 5 are quadrant 1 opportunities. And if you go, we started it at 3-2. Honestly, I'd take 2-3. I think if Missouri goes 2-3 in the next 5, you and I are talking after that, and we're still projecting them to go to the NCAA tournament. Which
is clearly the exercise of filling in the 67 other teams, right? Finding 68 right. Better is clearly it. Because, man, I'd still look at this Missouri team, and it doesn't look tournament-ish. It just looks like it's close, but I'm just I don't see it. But that speaks to, I guess, 64 was a better number than 68. The 4 we're letting in.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore because I'm too busy and we have other people who do it. But there was a time where I would actually put pen to paper. And I mean literally pen to paper. I'd pull out a piece of paper and I would build a bracket. And and I always tell people until you do the exercise, it is hard to be, and I stop myself from doing this on television. Producers will come up with segments all the time and it's just sort of a random, this team in or out. And you just got a bunch of people on television going, I think they're in, I think they're out. Well, did you actually sit down and do the list and fill out the at-larges? Because that's the only way to have a real feel for who's in and who's out, who should be, who shouldn't be. And if you ever do that, you'll find out a few things pretty quickly. One, being a bracketologist, I say this as respectfully as I can say it, not that hard. We could, quite literally anybody could do it. We would all agree on 65 of the 68 every single year at any point in the season once there's, say, enough data. From February 1st on, as long as you know the bracketing principles, as long as you understand what's important and what isn't, which they tell you over and over again, we would all agree on 65 of the 68. All right. And then you'd have about 6 teams for the last 3 spots. And at that point, just pick any 3 and fill it out. And then somebody will get lucky and they'll call them a great bracketologist, and somebody will get unlucky and we'll call them a bad bracketologist. But that's what it comes down to. The other thing you'll find out is you'll go, really? This team's in? You rarely get to a point where you go, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to leave this team out. They're so good. It's the opposite. You always get to the bottom and you go, I can't believe this is a tournament team. And so Missouri might end up being one of those, but you got to fill the bracket out. There's 68 teams have to go in the thing. And at the end of the day, it feels like Missouri's going to be one of those 68.